This is the Rhythm Authors Podcast for September 10th, 2012, episode 39, the one where Mystakin slaps his knees. Welcome to another edition of the Rhythm Authors Podcast. I'm your host, Mystakin, joined as always by my co-host, The Sound Defense.
Hi, everybody. I misplaced my map of Michigan that's usually behind me.
Now we'll never know where you're from.
No, I could be absolutely anywhere right now.
It's true. For some reason, I thought you were going to say I misplaced my glasses, even though you're very obviously wearing them.
Oh, no. My glasses, I always know where my glasses are.
That's good to hear. Sound Defense, there's big news in the Rock Band world.
There is some big news.
What is that news?
I was going to ask you what the big news is.
I don't know what the news is, so that's why I'm asking you.
Okay, well, there's this thing.
Did news come out?
Yeah, there's Rock Band Blitz. Rock Band Blitz happened. Rock Band Blitz is news.
You're not even gonna help me with that. You're not even gonna follow along with the stuff here.
I don't know. I can't talk right now.
What's your thoughts on the Blitz?
My thoughts on Blitz aren't that. What?
I was going to say, for those who don't know, Rock Band Blitz is a Xbox Live arcade game in which you can play all of the songs from your Rock Band catalog, and it condenses every instrument down to 2 lanes, and you're playing every instrument at the same time, trying to get it all up to 4x. There's power-ups, it's crazy times, it's chaos, and it's a lot of fun. Sound Defense, what are your thoughts on Rock Band Blitz?
My thoughts are that it's an extremely addicting game, and I wish I could play some more of it right now.
You'd much rather be playing Rock Band Blitz than doing this podcast with me, is what you're telling me.
If we weren't doing this podcast, I would be playing Rock Band Blitz right now. But
Blitz.
It's okay, because I can tell people about Rock Band Blitz.
Yes. So what's your favorite thing about Rock Band Blitz so far?
My favorite thing.
Let's go favorites and least favorites.
My favorite thing's just
never have I ever.
Just
what?
Really. Let me talk, damn it. Yeah, my favorite thing is probably the really cool gameplay. It's really addicting and hectic, just moving from track to track. It's a totally different beast from playing Rock Band, where you look at a lane and you play everything that's coming at you, and you're sort of more in control. In Rock Band Blitz, you're just like you're trying to keep up, you're struggling, and it's I don't know. I make it sound not very good, but it's a lot of fun just moving all over the place and hitting buttons and throwing off power-ups and stuff like that. What do you think?
It's a very frantic experience. It's sort of
frantic is a good word.
I've got so much stuff going on, and my hair's in my face. I've got so much stuff going on, and it's so hard to keep up with. And that's sort of what the power-ups, I think, are there to do, is sort of like alleviate some of that pressure that you feel, because you're like, I can see a gate coming, and I have 3 lanes that aren't full yet. Oh,
what do I do?
I'm just going to go into the 1 lane that I already completed.
Yeah, just forget it.
It's just I don't even care anymore. So yeah, what's some of the things we don't like about Blitz though?
Some of the things. The thing that I don't like is mainly that when you want to restart a song because you're not doing very well at it, it's going to cost you a few more coins.
Especially if
you're using power-ups, it's kind of like a penalty for restarting, so it makes it harder to grind for really good scores.
Right, which is sort of the purpose of the game, is to beat all your friends' scores. So it's kind of weird to have this hindrance sort of stopping you, but at the same time, it also makes you try to make the best of whatever run you have. So I'm sort of at 2 minds with the coin structure. Did you see that they've actually adjusted all the coin values recently?
Yes, I did see that just a few minutes ago. It made it they give you more coins per song, and power-ups now cost less. So
yeah, so it's nice that they're able to do that without having to go through the patch system.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's really handy.
Yeah, which was, I think, a lot of people's fear. It's definitely my fear. Hair in my face.
Yeah, no, I remember reading about how in Infinity Ward they had this technique for being able to adjust really critical values on the fly without having to patch it into the game. It's like games always look online for this one particular file to get information from. And so all they need to do is change that one file. They don't actually have to patch everybody's game. And I suspect Harmonix is doing something similar, which is a good idea.
Yeah, the first time I'd heard of doing something like this was Super Meat Boy's online levels for the 360. They don't have to patch to put those levels in. And I remember that being a big feature at the time. So it's nice to see that it's sort of permeating throughout the industry because, let's be honest, the patch system for 360 kind of blows.
A little bit, yeah.
So it's nice to see that people are trying to work around it and are succeeding.
Yes.
Do we have any? So today's episode is, if you couldn't tell, because we didn't really tell you, but it's kind of obvious. It's gonna be entirely about
Blitz.
Yes, it's all about Rock Band Blitz. And we're going to be discussing our 6 favorite Rhythm Authors tracks to play in Blitz. So if you do not own these tracks, then maybe, this will convince you that they are worthwhile. But Sound Defense, do you want to kick us off with our first song this week for Blitz?
Yes, I do. My first selection for must-own Blitz tracks is A Christmas Rock Medley by Richard Campbell. Was a sample from Christmas Rock Medley by Richard Campbell. Mystakin. Are you feeling the Christmas spirit?
I'm always feeling the Christmas spirits.
Good,
because
good.
Christmas is a time for happiness and joy times.
Yes.
Is Jingle Bells in that medley?
I did not hear any Jingle Bells in that particular medley. It's more...
So then it's actually Christmas because Jingle Bells is a Thanksgiving song.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yes.
It seems to be more like traditional... Christmas songs other than the standard Jingle Bells Deck the Hall sort of thing.
Yeah, which is nice. I like how we're just talking about the song.
Yeah,
we could talk about the song before.
We could talk about like the Blitz.
Yeah, we could talk about the blitzification, as Harmonix calls it, of the track. But first, you wanted to talk about control schemes.
Yes, I did.
And I use the default control scheme, which there's 2 options to the default control scheme. I'm holding up a 2, and I need to get it on camera. There's 2 options. One is the one that I use, which is like the A button and the D-pad, and then the other option is to use both analog sticks.
Oh yeah, I tried that for a while too.
Which someone I know uses that. So, but I use A button D-pad. It's what I used at PAX when I originally played it, and it just seems perfect for me. But I know a lot of other people use other stuff. What do you use?
Yeah, I actually use the shoulders version. I use nothing but shoulder buttons.
So that's freakish, right?
No, it's called shoulders actually.
What's freakish then? I thought that was shoulders.
Freakish, I can't remember what freakish is. I think it's like you switch with A and D pad and you press with the shoulder buttons or something.
So how do you switch?
You switch with the triggers and hit notes with the buttons.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's less confusing than it sounds, actually.
Right. So you're just like, I don't need buttons. I don't want any buttons.
No, my index fingers are all that I need here. I don't know. It was most intuitive switching with the index fingers and hitting buttons with the index fingers. So I saw I could do both, and I took it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the song itself, though. It's a 3-track song.
Yes.
Which means there's only 3 lanes in the game, which is a rarity. I find that usually means pinball's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good point. You could probably get a lot of pinball and you don't have to move very far.
Yeah, pinball's pretty good, and Runaway Notes is especially good in this song because there's a lot of times where only guitar's playing. And Runaway Notes, the gimmick is this sort of like shine spark thing appears and starts jumping around from all these notes in a path, and you're supposed to sort of follow the path and hit all the notes that it hits. But if there's only one lane going at the time, it has nowhere to go except that one lane, so you just have to hit the notes in the lane.
Yeah.
So it makes Runaway Notes very easy. But yeah, I think this track ends up having some pretty complex drums to it.
It does. it's Richard Campbell, so complex drums, complex guitar is sort of a given, but I know it's fun to look at in Rock Band Blitz.
Right. I just mean specifically the blitzification stuff because there's a lot of ghost snares and stuff, and that translates to a really difficult pattern in Blitz. And because Blitz doesn't really do well with cymbals, and by do well with cymbals I mean it doesn't chart any of them all. Pretty much it.
Pretty much. It'll chart cymbals in a disco beat section, but otherwise it tends to leave them alone.
Sometimes. Not even always. Yeah, it's very odd, but this is it's a tough drum track. Guitar is very busy, bass, it's all very busy stuff. Is there anything that struck you about the song and Blitz?
Not that we haven't covered already. I just like the fact that there's a 3-lane song that people can pick up because it's sort of easing your way into the mindset of moving manically from track to track. It's easier to catch things like a runaway note on a faraway track because it's the most it can be is 2 tracks away. It's usually in your vision.
Yeah, that's true. Do you want to move on to the second song this weekend?
Sure, why not? What have you got for us?
So jumping from 3 tracks to 5 tracks because I'm a jerk and that's what I do. And also this song is effing chaos. This is Pirates Till We Die. Is that the name of the song?
Pirates Till We Die.
Pirates Till We Die by Halfbrick Studios.
We're here to plunder booty. We'll be taking all your treasure.
And that was a taste of Pirates Till We Die by Halfbrick Studios, the song from Rascals.
Rascals.
Xbox Live arcade game. I almost said Rock Band Live arcade game. Xbox Live arcade game, that's actually pretty cool, and you should look into it.
I've heard of it.
With Sound Defense, what do you think about being pirates and dying?
I like the pirates part. I'm not a fan of the dying part.
That's a fair point. What do you think about the track in Blitz?
Track in Blitz looks pretty fun. I haven't actually played it myself yet.
It's very demanding.
That's what it looked like. The guitar part is just chugging along.
Yeah, it has drums, guitar, and bass are all very fast. And even the vocals are pretty fast.
Oh, yeah.
4 vocals are fast, anyway.
Yeah, the keyboard is sometimes a bit... Or it's never as fast as guitar and bass, but at least it's active for a bunch of the song.
Yeah, keyboard has that issue that a lot of keyboard tracks have and make it really tough in Blitz, where a lot of it's just sustains, and then it'll have one pattern, where it's a bunch of 8th notes or 16th notes or whatever. Which means if you don't get it during that 16th note pattern, you're just screwed.
Yeah, you're not getting.
If you didn't level it up there, you're not leveling it up at all. But yeah, this is a really dense and tough track. I think stuff like Shockwave might be pretty good here. Pinball would be good because it can hit all the things. But actually, Pinball's kind of bad because it's really tough to keep it on track when it's 5 lanes.
That's true. Maybe Road Rage would work better.
Yeah, Road Rage, stuff that gets rid of notes.
Yes.
Because there's so many notes.
Bottle rockets are always good for clearing notes.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many, there is no point where you're you know what, this could use more notes. Just endless stream of notes. A pretty sick guitar solo if you wanted to go the jackpot route.
Ooh, that's true.
So, I mean, this is there's a lot of variety in the strategy that you can come at this track with, and all of it is going to demand a lot of attention.
Yes.
Is there anything else major that you were noticing? I mean, the drums have have a lot of double kick in them, which makes it really difficult. Again, sort of like how Christmas is difficult because of the snares. This song ends up being difficult because of the kicks on drums.
Yeah, something else that you'll see in songs with a lot of double bass is that you'll have a large number of notes that are on the same side, and that's not a huge problem if you're playing default, but if you're playing shoulders like me, it starts to wear on your index finger a little bit.
Yeah, and this one has the consistent patterns like a Dragon Force beat. I don't know if that's picking up.
Yeah.
But and it's simple, but it gets tiring. And it's really once it's hard to jump in and out of that pattern. You sort of lock into it.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be really difficult to get in and out of drums. And bass and guitar, like we said, have a lot in them. I mean, it's a very varied track. Do we have anything else we wanted to hit on with Pirates?
Pirates? I think I'm done with Pirates for the day.
Well, we're never done with Pirates.
Nah.
You're never done with Pirates. But anyway, what's your second song for this week?
We're going from hectic energy to more hectic energy. The second song of mine this week is Skid Rock by a Wilhelm Scream. And that was Skid Rock by a Wilhelm Scream. Mystakin, what do you think?
Ah! I can't do a Wilhelm Scream very well.
No, that wasn't very good.
I was actually playing The Walking Dead, so I need to play through episodes 1 and 2 of The Walking Dead again because I lost my save.
Oh,
sucks.
Ouch.
I'm fine with it, I guess. This will be the third time that I've gone through episode 1. But there's a pretty great Wilhelm Scream moment in episode 1 of The Walking Dead, for anyone who hasn't played it. But this has nothing to do with that sound effects.
No, it doesn't. This is not related to actual Wilhelm Screams.
No, this is in fact related to a band called the Wilhelm Scream, which does like punk metal in your face. We're just gonna run you over with music.
Pretty much. That's a good description.
So this song is insane in Blitz. Tell me some of the things that are crazy about it, because I think we both agree that it's crazy.
Well, the first thing that you'll notice is crazy is the bass intro, which is not only crazy, but it's incredibly long.
Yeah.
So you're going to be mashing buttons for a while.
I want to say it's a good minute.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. What else?
Fine. Also crazy are the drums and the guitar and the vocals. As it turns out, everything in the song is crazy.
What makes them crazy, though?
Well, they're just hitting all of the notes. Well, I guess the guitar, it does have some sustains in it, but, the bass is doing its really fast punk beats, and the guitar, it's got some really shredding solos, lots of really fast notes to hit. The vocals, I don't know how particularly fast they are, but
Fast
I
enough.
don't know. At least they're present and they're saying enough words to it to actually, not feel like a waste of your time to be sitting on the vocals track, leveling it up.
Right, totally. Especially when the guitars and bass are sort of doing some sustainy stuff. We've done 3 songs so far, and every time we've mentioned how hard the drums are in
Yeah.
Blitz, but it's because they're relevant, because this one, again, might be the hardest of them, because it has that beat that this is the episode where Mystakin plays beats on his knees.
Yep.
It has a beat like this. Ready? Okay. And so that's Dedicatatica. Simple enough beat, very, very standard in punk music. But it's just like that the Dragon Force beat from Pirates, where it's so hard to lock into it, and then by the time you've locked into it, you 4x the section you have to get out. So it's so difficult to jump in and jump out with that beat. And because of that, I think Bandmate's a pretty good power up for this.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
To just throw on drums and say, Bandmate, you do it.
This is too complicated for my brain.
Yeah, I'll figure out everything else. You just go over there and do whatever. Do your business over there. Is there any power ups that you think would work well with this track?
This particular track, I'm not sure. I am not playing around enough with the power ups in Blitz. I tend to find one that I like and stick with it for a long time. But in this case, there are definitely sections where something with a wide area of effect to take out a lot of notes that would be useful in several sections here, especially during the chorus.
Mm-hmm. So something like blast notes and road rage and
Blast
stuff that
notes.
gets rid of notes.
Shockwaves, bottle rockets.
Yeah.
Or shockwaves, I guess it doesn't get rid of notes.
No, yeah, but it does get you a lot of points in those denser sections.
Yes, it does.
This would be a pretty good pinball if you have Bandmate, because then you effectively only need to cover 3 lanes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's as hard as you think it is. Like really, I mean, you're gonna see a part of it, and it's as hard as you think it is.
Yes.
Do we want to move into our fourth song this week?
Sure. What is our fourth song this week?
Our fourth song this week is a track called "Lost" by John Garrison.
One small piece of so much more. I was lost without you. I was lost without you. I was going nowhere and doing nothing.
And that was a track called Lost by John Garrison. Sound Defense, what do you think about Rock Band Network 1 songs?
I think that there's this quality to them that you don't see in other Rock Band Blitz songs, and it's kind of weird.
What do you mean by quality?
I mean, I'm talking about the gates.
What, there's not gates in other Rock Band Blitz songs? Come on, Sound Defense.
No, there are gates there, but they happen in more logical places. You play a Rock Band Network 1 song, they seem to pop up in sort of bizarre, in the middle of the song areas.
It's very true. So this has that issue, but I think the awesomeness of the track fixes that. I was trying to look for a bigger word than fixes. Amends it.
Amends, yeah. There's a bigger word that I'm trying to think of.
Well, you keep thinking.
Yeah.
What I love about this track...
Alleviates that.
Alleviates is good, yeah. What I love about this track is it has a lot of moments where instruments drop out, and it'll just be vocals, or it'll just be vocals and guitar, or it'll just be vocals and drum. There's a lot of vocals and stuff.
Yeah, it's a vocal song.
It's a vocal song.
I mean, you don't have to feel bad about going to the vocals.
No, yeah. In fact, you should be there.
Yes. Be on the vocals.
Yeah. And this is basically my excuse to get people to buy Lost because I love the song.
I should get this song.
There's a disco beat on the drums, which means that this is one of those instances where they authored it. So it's good. And it makes that part a little bit more complicated, and it makes drums a higher point gainer in the long run. I think the highest point gains are probably guitar and vocals, maybe drums. I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's kind of all over, which makes it tough to decide sort of what power-ups are best because it's very spread out.
Indeed. I don't know what power-ups would be best on this song. What do you think? I mean, there's... I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, really anything. Like I said, because it's so spread out, you could really go anywhere with it.
Probably. I mean, it's not too hard to get a jackpot on some of the tracks, I'm sure.
Yeah. Sound Defense, what do you think about this? What do you think about the Blitz version of Lost?
I think the Blitz version is as good a video game version of Lost as I have yet seen.
Like Lost the TV show?
Look, let's... Damn it. I had a thought forming in my head, but I took too long to form the thought. I was going to talk about the Lost video game, but I realized that I didn't know anything about the Lost video game.
They telegraph that.
Yeah.
And then
I just telegraphed like a stroke.
My call out to it completely screwed everything up.
Yeah, it's all good.
Well, I think that's probably enough about John Garrison and his song called Lost.
Except you should buy it.
Except that you should buy it because it's very good. Sound Defense, what is your last song this week?
My last song, I finally move all the way up to 5 tracks for this song. This is Force Feedback by Machinae Supremacy. That was Machinae Supremacy, or Machine Supremacy, or Machinae Supremacy, or whatever you like, doing their song Force Feedback. Mystakin, how do you pronounce it?
It's Machine Supremacy.
It's Machinae Supremacy.
Elix made fun of me for saying Machine Supremacy, so I sent him a video of the band saying it themselves.
But
To which
They
he said
spell
the
it
band
weird.
is wrong, if I recall correctly.
They're spelling it weird. They're like being fancy hipster spelling.
It's true. But anyway, this is not about machine supremacy, or well, sort of is.
No,
Mostly-
it sort of is.
It's mostly about force feedback, their song, and how it appears in Blitz. This is another 5-tracker.
Yes, it is. And this one has a very active keyboard part in certain parts of the song.
Yes, and other parts it's very inactive, which can be a huge pain.
Yeah, so you better catch it during the active parts. It's sort of treat it like vocals. When you see it, skip over there.
Yeah, totally. And what I like to do is usually jump back and forth between vocals and that. I think 5-lane songs are usually good excuses to use bandmate because it's one less lane to worry about.
Yeah, especially on this, like if you know that there's going to be a short section of something or other, just put your bandmate on it. You don't need to think about it.
Mm-hmm. It is worth mentioning, someone pointed out on Score Hero, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I think it might be, if you have like super guitar and you throw bandmate on super guitar, they don't stack.
Oh,
So
that's lame.
the points that it's getting from bandmate is not super guitar points.
Oh, so you need to
So
put yourself on the guitar.
Yeah, so throw it on something else and then you finish off guitar. Okay. This song has a pretty extended break in it, where it's mostly keys, right? No, it's mostly guitar.
No, there's very little keys in it, actually.
Yeah, and it's a pain. It's really tough. If you're not prepared for that section, you are screwed.
There's like hints of all the other instruments.
Yeah.
While this guitar is going sort of crazy.
Yeah, and if you're not, like I said, if you're not prepared, if you have not leveled up the other instruments at that point, you're probably gonna get to a gate, and not level everything up, or not level anything up.
Yeah.
Because luckily it doesn't come out of nowhere. If you've listened to the song, you know where it is. But definitely be prepared because that will hit you, and you'll be like, "Crap! I already had guitar on 4X, and now I can't level anything else up. Drums is boned."
Yeah. Drums and keys are pretty... No, drums are especially
Drums are especially boned. Sound effects, any other tips? Any other power-ups you're thinking about using and force feedback?
This particular song, you did pretty well with those flame notes there.
Mm-hmm. And again, that's because I had bandmate. Flame notes and bandmate are a good companion power-ups because every time you hit a flame... So when you hit a flame note, 2 more flame notes appear, or at least that seems to be the case. I haven't tested this theory. 2 flame notes appear, so if you manage to hit both of those, one of those with bandmate, then that's just going to stack up, and now you have, 4 notes, and then 8 notes, 16th notes, every note's a flame note. It's awesome. It's rad.
And you get a bunch of points.
Yeah. I managed to get 108k in this song with flame notes.
Just with flame notes.
Yeah, just with flame notes, which a lot of people that I've talked to were like, flame notes are useless. I can't get above 20k. Well, I got 100k. So.
Well, the bar has been set.
Yes.
The particular reason I like this song is because of like the variety in the keyboard parts, just not like a constant back and forth. You're sort of doing something a bit more complicated, and it is fun for me to play.
Right, the keys have a rhythm.
Yes.
And
it's a weird
just
rhythm.
a lead. Yeah, it is a weird rhythm. You're right. It's not just a lead. Well, it is a lead, but it's not just like, 8th note lead because we're keys.
Yeah.
Do we want to move into our final track of the evening?
Sure. Let's hear it. What is it?
My final song this week, as I switch to sound effects because I am an unprofessional. My final song this week is Another Step by Andromeda. That was a taste of Another Step by Andromeda. Sound Defense, how do you feel about guitar key solos?
I feel like that went a lot better than I expected.
You expect to just get to that point and then the game just crashes.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how exactly that would be handled because, like, during Rock Band Blitz, when there is a solo, all the other instruments drop out. So, Another Step has a section where there are 2 solos happening at the exact same time. And I was wondering if maybe that wouldn't work out so well, but it seems to work out just fine.
Yep. So how they handle it is basically every instrument except the ones that have solos are dropped out. So during the keys and guitar duel, you are jumping back and forth between keys and guitar manually jumping back and forth because all the notes are present.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, go.
It would be a bit nicer if the vocals weren't in the middle of the 2, sort of forcing an extra lane shift.
Yeah, that's true. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is another keys track where you really, really, really got to pay attention to keys because it has a lot of notes in a short period of time, and if you don't hit those a lot of notes, you're going to be really screwed when a gate shows up.
Because everything else is just super long sustains or just nothing.
Yeah, or just straight up you don't have any notes. Like there's literally a part in the video that I did where there's no keys for almost the entirety of the section, and then I got past a gate, and I was like, why didn't I level up? I was like, oh, keys screwed me over somehow. Like, you gotta be careful.
Mm-hmm.
You really gotta keep an eye on keys. Drums are really tough in the song for the same reason that drums are really tough in Skid Rock. Has that same beat in it.
Yeah.
But if
not the exact same beat, no.
It does at some points.
Close. It's sort of like displaced by a half measure or something, but no, I see what you mean.
Fine.
Whatever. Okay.
But it varies it up a bit more, so it's not always just kicking you in the face. Guitar has a solo, keys has solos. Jackpot's pretty good for those solos if you could hit them. The key solo is pretty tough.
Yeah, that's asking a lot to hit some of these solos, because we've all seen the actual Rock Band solos. They're insanity.
And if you haven't, you should.
Yes.
Insanity. It's my avatar on the Score Hero forums.
It's a great avatar.
Do we have any other... I mean, that's pretty much... Everything else is pretty obvious. It's another 5-lane song, so stuff like Pinball's not really good, but stuff like Bandmate is. Bandmate could be pretty good because you might get you through... You might be able to FC both solos that way. Maybe.
That would be really cool.
It'd be really tough, but you might be able to do it. And then you get solo bonuses for both of them. At the very least, you'd hit more of the solos. But yeah, Sound Effects, do you have any other thoughts on Another Step?
Not particularly, I guess.
Well, then, we'll launch into the outros for this evening. And that concludes another edition of the Rhythm Authors Podcast. God, I did the thing where I was trying to do the host again. Like, I'm your host, Mystakin.
In case you forgot.
In case you forgot. But anyway, that concludes another episode of the Rhythm Authors Podcast. If you'd like to know more about Rhythm Authors, you can go to rhythmauthors.com. You can follow us on Twitter at Rhythm Authors, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel where we're always updating with videos of all our songs. That is youtube.com/rhythmauthors. Also, we have a podcast email that I have not looked at yet.
So how long has it been?
Well, I announced it on the last episode, but I haven't looked at it since then.
Oh, well, that would have been nice to have.
But if you send us an email, I promise to look at it eventually. And that email address is podcast@rhythmauthors.com. And, okay. And if you want this is the most unprofessional outro ever. If you want to know more about the Rock Band Network, you can go to rockbandnetwork.com or creators.rockband.com. Sound Effects, it's your turn.
Alright, I can actually talk now?
Yes.
Okay. If you want to know more about me, you can check out my YouTube channel at Sound Defense RB, where I post Rock Band, Dark Souls, and other videos there. And you can also check out my various writings at cracked.com and occasionally at nintendogal.com.
And if you'd like to find some of my stuff, you can find me on Twitter at Mystakin, and you can find all of my writing at gamezone.com and pmsclan.com. That's MYSTAKIN. Sound Defense. Another one in the bag.
Yes. We're done with the Blitzcast. How many Blitzcasts are we going to do, I wonder?
One.
One? What happens when we run out of songs?
One. And that was a taste of Pirates till everyone dies.
We'll be pirates until everybody is dead.
That was terrible. Okay, we're doing that again.